excellent album. We learned a lot from it.
Hey, it's Dave. Welcome back to my channel. So today is Tuesday, and every Tuesday now for the year 2020 and beyond, I'm going to do a show called The Most Overlooked Albums. The show idea came to me when I was discussing this first one here, Rickie Lee Jones, when I was discussing it and the person really didn't know the album that well. And I thought, well, this is something I should talk about, how great this record is. So here we are. At the end of this video, you can go look in the link at the bottom. I will have a Spotify link for the album, and you can listen to the album. And in fact, comment after you listen to the record at least once. I'd love to hear your comments on the album, what you think, what your favorite tracks are on the album. I'm going to go track by track on it now. The album features some of my all-time favorite players. Steve Gadd played drums. That's him on drums on Chucky's in Love. Jeff Porcaro played drums on the record. Buzz Featon played guitar on this album. Buzz originally with Paul Butterfield Blues Band during Woodstock. He also played with Stevie Wonder. Most of you know Buzz Featon because he came up with this tuning system where you move the nut 30 thousandths of an inch closer to the first fret, and then there's offsets in the intonation, and basically that's what the Buzz Featon tuning system was, and it's a great system if you like having a guitar that's in tune all the way up the guitar. Also on this album is Chuck Finley, plays horn on this record. Willie Weeks is on bass. Rickie herself plays guitar, percussion. She plays piano. It's a great album. Let's take a look at the album. The first song on the record is Chucky's in Love. Chucky was Chucky Weiss, who was one of Tom Waits' best friends, had moved out of town because he fell in love with somebody. Called up Tom, told him that he was in love. Tom then turns to Rickie and says, Chucky's in Love. And she thought that's a great song title. She wrote a song around it. Of course, she took some liberties and changed it that in the song, he's in love with her, but that's not the reality. He ran off. She was with Tom. But in the song, she sings, but Chucky's in love with this little girl singing this song. But that's not true. That was her, taking liberties. Regardless, it's a fantastic song. It's probably the biggest hit on the album. Well, it is the biggest hit on the record that you would probably know. And it's beautiful. The next song is called On Saturday Afternoons in 1963. This was recorded live. Her piano and I believe strings was recorded live in the studio. I'm not sure if the strings were overdubbed, but I know her performance was live in the studio in late 78. And the song is featured in a film called Little Darlings, which was a Tatum O'Neal, Christy McNichol vehicle about girls in camp and whatnot. And I was a little kid when it came out. I think I was like 11 or 12. No, yeah, maybe 12 when that came out. But that song's in the movie. It's a beautiful song. The next song on the album is definitely one of my favorites. It's called Night Train. Just has a haunting vibe. It's beautiful. The melody's gorgeous. It reminds me of if Joni Mitchell were a little bit more street. It gives you that type of vibe. I think it's just a great song. Song 4 on the album is called Youngblood, and this was a very poppy, also another single off the album. Probably one of my favorites. It is definitely, you can hear where Bonnie Raitt kind of borrowed the vibe for the song Nick of Time. Has kind of this Youngblood type of vibe. I'm all for people copying another band's vibe or another person's vibe. I really have a problem when people copy melodies and where it's almost the song. But as far as somebody copying a vibe, I'm all for it. I think that's fair game. It's influence. And I believe this song has influenced many. And I love the backing vocals and the chorus in this song. It's just a great song called Youngblood. The fifth song on this record, Easy Money, is definitely a little slower, acoustic, kind of rhythm and bluesy, dark. It's very nice. I like it. After that, Song number 6 is a song called Last Chance Texaco. This is probably my favorite song on the record. It's really a clever song where she's talking about a girl with a broken heart being the equivalent to like a broken down car. And she found the last chance Texaco. It's just a real clever lyrically, musically it's fun. It's got a great vibe. I love this record. I could put this record on at night, have it playing in the background, and I'm always catching myself just trying to listen to it more. It's a great record. Song number 7 on this album is called Danny's All-Star Joint. And this is kind of like a boogie woogie. It's a little bit more clever than a straight boogie woogie. It still has this rhythm and blues and this type of like, I want to say beatnik night feel to it. It's a beautiful song. After that song, we have Coolsville. And Coolsville is kind of like this real haunting type of song. I could totally picture her performing this song because it just has that type of vibe. It's more vibe than anything. Really, it's nice. It fits in the album really well, which is, I think, important on a great record, that everything kind of has a flow and tells a story. And for me, a lot of music, you could take like all these records and, people listen to like whether it's heavy metal or virtuoso stuff or just soft rock or anything, regardless of what it is, if it doesn't take you someplace, then I'm not too much of a fan. Like a lot of times people will play me music and I'll be like, oh, those changes, and I can call the changes off. Usually if I'm thinking about the changes when I hear a song, I'm either number one, intrigued or bored. And more times than not, it's because I'm bored and it's like, well, I can hear what that is. It hasn't done anything to me. With the Rickie stuff, I feel like when she's playing stuff, I don't care. I'm not even listening for changes. I'm kind of like I'm taken somewhere. It really, to me, defines what a great record is. The next song is called Weasel and the White Boys Cool. It is definitely another one of those songs that it's like all about the vibe. I really dig it. I think it's a great song. Again, it fits in with the vibe. It's not like in my top 4 on the album, which so far would be Chucky's in Love, Night Train, Youngblood, or Last Chance Texaco. But it is a great song still. The next song is another one of the songs that I think is right up there. It's probably just underneath the 4 that I had mentioned, and that's Company. And, I highly recommend you give this one a good listen. It's a great song. The last song on the album, number 11, is After Hours. And this is another piano piece with her singing, and it was also recorded live. And it's a great closeout for the album. I think in general this album is her best album. I do like the album she came out after, Pirates. Also, Flying Cowboys was a great album that I enjoyed. But I believe this is her best album. And the fact that she's not a household name still, to me, I think this record is overlooked. Years ago, I saw her live at the Santa Monica Pier. She gave a free concert. And then I was at a restaurant called Joe's a few weeks later, and I was very friendly with the waitress there, Renee. And I said to Renee, hey, is that Rickie Lee Jones over there with her daughter? And she's like, yeah, I don't know who that is. I'm like, Rickie Lee Jones, is that her? I don't think so. I said, well, find out if it's her, because if it is, I'll take her check. I figured it would be a real nice opportunity to pick up her check and be like, hey, thanks for the music. I'm a huge fan, and I don't know how many times she runs into huge fans, but I'm a huge fan. So anyway, Renee is like, yeah, I don't think it's her, and I'm just like, well, just find out. So anyway, I'm eating and whatnot. I was by myself, and she goes to pay the bill, and she's bringing the check back, and so I was like, oh, it must not have been her because she would have saw her name on the credit card. That's a bummer. Anyways, so I said, hey, Renee, what was that woman's name? She's like, oh, that was Rickie Lee Jones. Oh, I could have killed Renee. Anyway, I'm a huge Rickie Lee fan. I think you should be too. Check out this album. Again, I've posted it in Spotify in the description. And I'll be back next Tuesday with another album. Very good.